And the bells toll for somebody here at the top of a Vanquisher table. We've got a fun match here between XSV Wrath versus Iceborn Vengeance. I'm Halfling, joined by Golden Gad here, and hopefully by week 5 we can break our curse of only broadcasting stomps.
I don't know if that, curse will be broken today. I'm not honestly that sure. Coming into this match, we have XSV Wrath versus Iceborn Vengeance. Iceborn Vengeance is currently sitting at, a solid 3-0. I know, weird. We're in week 5. They haven't played one of their matches, so that'll be done later. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see whether... Yeah, this is true. Their game score is currently 6-0. So I kind of expect them to maybe, just maybe, do pretty well in this one. But XSV Wrath also got some good stuff to show for it as well. They're currently sitting top of the table, partially because they played all their matches, but they are 3-1 with a 7-4 game score. So a lot of close series back and forth. But they've scraped out wins, which just shows good resilience nonetheless. And they're going to need to be resilient against a team like Vengeance, who is coming off of, a couple good weeks. And then also on top of that, has some really good players as well. I very much so recognize some of the players here. Rainy, Corin, Husky Templar, and Kraydog. Sorry, Aftermoon. Maybe you're just the GOAT that I just never noticed. The fly on the wall that does everything, actually. But these are names I recognize. But also on the side of Wrath, I also recognize a lot of these. We got Ray, Jabber Jabber, and the bot lane I don't know too much about either, but definitely also maybe low-key underrated.
Could be. Both these teams have this tendency to go very long, so I'm expecting some pretty bot lane focused games here. I think it was Wrath is ranked currently like 3rd. Both these teams are in the top 10 for game lengths on their wins specifically, so we're going to be in for not a snoozer per se, but we're going to be in for some very long, drawn out games. Hopefully, that means some really, really good decision making. I've been really wishing to kind of learn something from a lot of these teams, and hopefully we can see that here. But popping into that draft, anything kind of specific you want to see? I know most of these leagues have kind of wrapped up here at the pro scene. We're starting to see teams end up in first stand. Anything that's really standing out to you as moving into that meta?
Very interestingly, after hating on Zehen in week 1, it has currently become one of the strongest champions, which is hilarious to me just because it can be a flex for mid and top. Or sorry, not mid and top, jungle and top. And that's actually quite interesting because it's another dueling option that actually you can play for. Excuse me as I go blurry a little bit as I now focus back up. We have some weird stuff with the visuals. Don't worry about it. We'll get it all fixed up. Akali here getting banned out. So as far as like mid lane pool goes, Orianna Azir and some of the other mages kind of got pulled back as far as power is concerned. So it's kind of interesting to see what kind of fills that vacuum. We are seeing Akshan get banned out. We mentioned it during the break. Philly B does like to play Akshan. So, hey, they're showing the respect that you do to kind of give up to a pick like that. It is one of those like lane dominant, can really hard carry if given the opportunity. So not too surprising, but we're going to see with the Mbessa ban on the other side, the Rumble just get immediately locked in.
Yeah, and you challenge any sort of common tank with this pick. You're expecting to see the Kazante and able to go up in lane, or you're going to try and challenge that with something more aggressive, but Rumble's pretty happy to manage that, so I do like what I'm seeing by Wrath here. Elect just to pick up strong mid laner, hopefully going to see a good jungler, maybe the Jarvan, maybe even Zehen could have been one of the bans. I would have expected that, but just going to be the Ornn, weather the storm, provide that team fight, but could be a little concerning here because the damage is already not favoring Wrath aside from what they could bring in bot lane.
Yeah, but Ornn is something that did recently get flexed into the jungle by Inspired in the LCS finals, so that would be pretty interesting to see if we see that flex come in, especially now seeing Wukong get locked, which is usually an exploitable champion in the jungle or something that you can play late game scaling into because it has a slightly harder early game in its kind of wait for level 6 playstyle. And then Victor on the other side here, just a strong mage. Ahri is extremely powerful, and Victor's just a nice damage, threat that you can rely on. But there is very little tankiness on the side of Vengeance, and like that kind of lines up well for something like an Alistar. Just so you have a good front line to rely on, you could always just play Nautilus with that initial, anti-burst item. But it'll be kind of interesting to see what they actually end up choosing here.
I wouldn't mind the Alistar, but the Kaisa ban is telling me that they're going to veer away from that a little bit. Just locking down some of the more priority AD carries I've been seeing. Aphelios has been on the outside looking in more recently. But I think a big thing to kind of call it is there's a lot of immobility on this Iceborn Vengeance side. Yes, Rumble can be quick, and you've got some moves to Victor, but in the end, you don't have a dash. Only Wukong does. So Jarvan and Ari are going to be pretty happy to try and exploit that here from Wrath, and that means I want to see them stay on their toes, and they're going to go with the Corki to keep that up.
Yeah, that's a great option, especially considering a lot of the aggro 80 carries that kind of coast out through lane are kind of taken off the table. Caitlyn and Kaisa, as well as Jhin, all taken away. They're going to go with another thing with mobility here that can go for a little bit more of a poke route, so you could see an Ezreal here. And I think Karma is actually not a bad pick here. Yes, you will not have the front line, but you will actually have really good engage with the Wukong Rumble. But they will go for the Alistar, aforementioned that you need a front line, so they are going to go for that more traditional route instead of going for the more lane dominant route with that Corki, of course. So makes a lot of sense here for that pick. And then if I had to guess, Braum was going to be what I was thinking, or an Enchanter, long range, something like a Karma on the other side, but no, we'll go Braum. Keep it very Fortress-like. You have basically everything you'd want in a team comp for both of these sides, honestly. I do think some of the lanes might be a little bit rough for Vengeance. Victor in particular, yes, he's like 50-50 master. He'll come out of these lanes and, you know, still perform well, but not necessarily the easiest into this very strong version of Ahri that Riot really favors right now.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard to deal with to get out of lane specifically. You've got an ignite Ahri there for Philly B with the Jarvan, so of course it's going to apply as much pressure as possible, and a little bit of a mismatch in what the bot lane and Husky Templar and Kraydog have here. Alistar level 1 infamously terrible, and Corki and Braum are going to be happy to abuse it. You can kind of see them on the map already getting a little far forward, but as of this moment, no one getting exploited yet.
Yeah, Rumble is definitely the pick to watch here because depending on how strong Rainy ends up getting in this one, could definitely take over this game. There isn't too much tankiness besides the Ornn, so a good equalizer plus a nice engage from an Alistar or a Wukong can really put them in the dirt. So I really want them to play tempered and controlled a little bit when it comes to the mid game, but right now is their big chance to strike, especially with a jungler like Jarvan. When matched against the Wukong, you're really looking for that big opener, and it's going to be pathing towards bot. So I want to see some stacked waves or something like that for Wrath, or potentially just letting Husky Templar and Cray kind of push it out, or force them to use some abilities early on. Or maybe even just burn a Braum Flash early to just try and force a trade, so that you can allow that kind of aggression to come through.
Oh, you heal, yeah. Interesting, both going heal, neither have that spellbook too, so both supports opting into heal. And I look across the board and I don't really see an exhaust target, so a pretty good heads up here for both these supports to see that. It's going to let you play super aggressive. You can already see how aggressive they are. Speaking of that, Jabber getting dodged away there, Core, and staying alive. A lot of damage done though.
Yeah, and the trade going in the favor, of course, towards the Ahri. Does also have that passive to even, further take that health advantage forward. Corrin overstaying just a little bit. Philly B trying to go for the punish. Jabber, nice wrap back around, especially after watching Wukong commit some time to come towards mid. So this is a pretty free angle to just burn the flash there, but it is a flash trade, but you'd much rather have no flash on that Victor come the next 5 minutes.
Especially that Ari's gonna ding level 6 at that point, and you're gonna be a pretty difficult to stand Victor. They do have the ghost, so it is a possibility, but pretty hard to kind of get out of any play at all if the Ari's just gonna Spirit Rush charm off a rip. So let's see Philly B really try to abuse that. Other than that though, really just across the map, kind of business as usual. No one taking too far of a lead that we wouldn't expect.
Yeah, we do see a gank here coming in. Aftermoon looking towards mid lane. Philly B is playing towards the bot side, so has an inkling.
Really good. So good with that vision. Philly B's so low. Red buff taken away, and that's a flash from Aftermoon picking up that first blood. The supporters in chat doing good.
Yeah, and I do like that Jabber just says, okay, my Ahri with no flash just got punished. No point in showing myself here, so just go straight to that Krug. So, they have now. Aftermoon has a little bit less freedom to look for something. Will put a ward down on that Raptor pit, but still gonna get for the reset here, and we'll have some extra tempo that Jarvan is afforded. So Yeah, it's kind of an interesting spot where you trade some of the map for that extra gold, but that is so much gold in their pocket, especially considering uh, small leads in both top and jungle here. So I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting to see because Jarvan crucially skipped that wolf camp on that first clear.
Yeah, it is something you can't watch, but it's not the end. Jarvan I never view as like this super high gold champion specifically. But you do want it, of course. You want to try and have some sort of power. You want to have some sort of offense
Yeah.
for those first two items where you can provide it. So could snowball, but for
Yeah, I
now it's
think the
getting minimized, and it's just going to be kind of unfortunate.
yeah, I think the first item's always the most important for Jarvan. Like, if you hit your first item spike early, then, I mean, you could really do whatever you want for the first 15 minutes of the game. So, it's something to just, yeah, be careful of. But also, if your first item ends up being something like a Sundered, for instance, that is really good value against a Rumble Wukong. So, yeah, I'm curious to see the actual build option here. Ornn doing a good job of keeping farm here, despite how kind of hard this lane is for it. I mean, you're seeing there, it is not easy to trade at all. The armor gets shred. Billy B
Has flash.
dodges away from the gravity well, so not too much of a concern.
Worried. Alistar did get spotted out there, so they know this roam's coming, but both supports move to make sure this could happen. And I think a big thing is since Ari died, since Philly B died and lost some XP, they weren't able to abuse that level up that we talked about, and now Ghost is in the inventory for Corrin.
Yeah, so still no flash though, so could still look for something though, and I think Jarvan may find it, you know, a look here, but with the nice control ward drop by Kraydog, I think it gives a lot of space for particularly Corrin to play at this one out.
That's not impossible. Husky Templar is very happy, to be honest, to just sit in that side lane. I feel like all Ezreals are.
Oh yeah,
Just
especially getting
ready and willing to do that.
Yeah, didn't actually like have to give up anything to get this tier. Now Rainy gonna dive. Ray
Okay, the wave's
did
gonna
not
get a
clear the
little
wave.
cleared. That's 3 casters. Oh, so good. Honestly, was able to get away with that.
Yeah, just awareness of the damage there. Good ward beforehand. I think if that's not there, it's gonna be a pretty hard situation to get out of there. So good awareness there from Ray. Does not have TP to get back to lane, so maybe we'll lose 1 minion or 2, but still, keeping up with this Rumble is going to be the most difficult challenge, but in that way, it's also very, very important for that to happen. But since Wukong shows on the top side with no level 6, I mean, that's just free pickings for Jabber to get that first Drake in their pocket. Kraydog. You can see how hard the Braum is, but taking a lot of poke here.
That is a lot of damage onto poor old Braum there.
As soon as that Unbreakable goes down, it's just very hard to be able to soak up some of that extra PTA. Or no, it's lethal tempo actually on this Ezreal. Even the lethal tempo damage itself is just a little bit scary there. Kraydog now kind of wants another fight, but this is heal on the Braum, so now with the level 6 ticking over, I don't think anything's going to be happening. Jarvan now sneaking away towards that top side, but there's been consistent wards on this Raptor pit all game. Oh. That's actually kind of dangerous when low-key actually missed the Q there. Not going to be punished for that one in this game. Some pings going towards the top side. They definitely want to find Rainy, but already, Victor, hey, be careful on the top side. Ari's missing. She'll be there in less than 5 seconds if she commits all the Spirit Rush charges, so got to be a bit careful. This is pretty slow so far, despite having the Jarvan. But with Wukong now being over level 6, I imagine a play will come in quite soon. It's just hard to find a play onto Ahri and Corki as the Wukong, so you really are looking for probably Jabber in the jungle when paired up with Corrin, who has quite a bit of just an extra tempo lead here so far. Since this doesn't look like it's going to be a burn build on this Ahri.
And not unexpected. The HP is relatively low, and Alistar doesn't necessarily have the highest HP, but they're going to pop that Ornhorn looking for a little bit of something, but there's just no follow-up. Those grubs are just gone.
Yeah, that's a full 3 grubs advantage, and that was partially, you know, just the tempo advantage of having the Rumble being able to push in this Ornn, as well as Victor just having the early shove until this Ahri gets about, I think it's basically just one extra amp tome to be able to clear the wave in a Q and a W. But yeah, it's a little bit rough for the tempo there, since you really do want to take advantage of Spirit Rush early on before this Victor is really online with those evolutions. Next Drake coming up in 2 minutes.
Ramping up those.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to deal with when the Victor gets to auto clear the wave so early on in the game. The champion that scales super well gets to scale even easier, but they're gonna try to abuse that there in the mid lane, top lane, just trying to find a little bit of a fight. I don't think they found any angle anywhere. Never mind. Corrin was able to turn it on its face, and they've got the bot lane here. Aftermoon and Groydog doing work on Underrated. They're gonna have to flash away, and just the one.
Yeah. Just able to get one good, nice play there onto Philly B, who's just a target so far. And Victor getting off the ground with a kill and an assist, and I'm sure hasn't missed many cannons here. Should be well on his way to the second evolution at the very least. So, you know, this is when it gets kind of hard. When Victor gets the extra speed up from the Q, you're able to dodge away from a lot of the abilities. And then once the W gets evolved as well, now the Ahri is a kind of a easy kill target if you do find her alone on a side wave. So I think they just haven't exploited the strength of the Jarvan Ahri as well as they needed to in this early game. And they're in a pretty bad spot. 2.2k down in the hole already at 10 minutes without too much even happening. It's just a lot of atrophy over the entirety of the map.
They seemed very shocked with that Ahri just dying super early on, and after that, they kind of abandoned any sort of pre-level 6 play, and then the level 6 time came around, and they were getting shoved in. Philly D had to get away, and I mean, really, your most active lane, honestly, has been this Ornn, and that's always an issue.
Yeah, they really are looking for it. Ray is just, you know, he's on the full Spirit Visage component, so you got that extra kind of regen just from passively taking over, and then on top of that, Rumble, not really a champion that could just really hit the turret in front of the Ornn like some of the other champs, since, you know, that is a little bit scary to be tanking some of that Ornn damage. With Leon just complete, like, this is the spike you want to exploit into the Ornn pre-first item when you do have your first item complete at this point, just because Ornn loves those components. I mean, I remember one Ornn build, it was just like four Ruby Crystals for fun. Yeah. But with the extra power, they are going to be looking for this Drake. Nice Q there onto Kraydog. They have to be a bit careful. They don't know Corrin's here.
Don't know Corrin's here, and they're going to spring the trap, but it's mostly just around causing pressure on this dragon. They've dragged the bodies, so of course they're going to start it up now. But what can you do here as Wrath? Do you try and gank this Rumble?
I feel like you have to, and you do see some pings going there. Ahri already on the way. Gonna go for a long wrap all the way around. And the engage range of an Ornn is always extremely far, so I'd expect them to just pull the trigger early, but they are really scared to like waste any resources and then get heavily punished because they use them. Yeah, I don't know. This early game, you really expect, hey, you have the champions that should be able to win, besides the Ornn, who's just going to be kind of scaling up, and against the Ezreal and the Victor, whose only real role is to sit there and farm. They're finding some success on the map. It's just hard.
It's just hard to get anything going. Your primary playmaker, which is your Ahri, admittedly. Your J4 isn't necessarily the one that's going to be starting plays, and if your Jarvan starting plays, the Ahri's split seconds, frames behind here, and this might be the one they're going to find the knock up there onto Aftermoon. Still was able to secure the crab, so maybe able to make it out like a bandit, going to pop that Cyclone, looking to try and continue this play. Corrin in tow, and able to find the kills. Spirit rushing away, you can't get away. The shutdown picked up, though, and there's the Glacial Fissure. Braum, there's no one for you to save here. Wrath caught out on their own play.
Kraydog just there on the play first, so just able to support Corrin there and getting the second kill on that play. And I mean, the gold lead in mid now must be massive. I have to imagine at least 1,200 if I had to guess, maybe even more than that with the plates that have gone over as well. So this Victor is completely online. Also going to Lucidity Boots means, hey, those E's that are poking you from outside Ahri's range hurt. and they're just getting forced out of their own map here. A level 11 Victor is just kind of, running it
Bullying.
in. Yeah, I this is looking really dire for them. The Sundered Sky is completed for the Jarvan. So hey, you could still look for something, but they haven't. They have a lot of members that are good at getting out, and the one exploitable one of the Victor and the Rumble, they haven't been able to find yet. So just really good awareness from Iceborn Vengeance. I don't want to say like this is just Wrath making mistakes. I think a lot of it is Iceborn Vengeance is not giving them a window. So Wrath is not like figuring out a way to trade out resources to be able to find easy enough angles into Iceborn's early game here.
I think it starts to come to the point where you have to really just thug it out for this next dragon, and you just got to throw the kitchen sink at this third dragon here. It's going to be the closest you're at. You're kind of losing in isolation in all your lanes. You're slowly falling behind more and more. You're not going to get any much stronger compared to the enemy team after this third dragon here. So these next 2 minutes, you got to shore up everything, get as many items as you can, and just send a fight and not even hope it works. It has to work.
Yeah, they're trying to find Jarvan, so they know Jarvan is on the bot side with that Scryer's Boom on the top side. And now Ahri coming in from the backside is spotted on a ward here, but there's just no wave. And Jarvan is standing in the open and doesn't even know it, by the way. Oh, it's rough. It's also unfortunate.
And they're happy to take
Templar wanted the red. They want the fight still.
They want this dive.
It's so scary now. Corrin joining up. They just forced off the play. So much time, so much resources, and they just get nothing.
Plus Rift Herald for that even too. Solo Rift Herald. They're taken by Aftermoon just on the top side. Now they're going to start helping themselves to the Jarvan's camps. And it's the scariest thing too to see. Kraydog and Husky were positioning. They wanted that 3v4. They were waiting, itching for a fight, because if they don't make the first move there, they're 100% going to win, and you can see exactly how these trades, that's the best trade I think I've seen from this Wrath bot lane. And it's
Jabber's forcing it.
It's going to bait out into this fight. Corki has no mana, though, so they're just going to find this knock up on a Kraydog, and he's going to be able to flash away. There's no follow-up there at all.
I mean, it's at least something. You get the Alistar flash. Very good look there from Jabber, but didn't have a method to actually go for the kill immediately. Corki just not in the position to get enough autos through to actually stack up that concussive blows. So good awareness there from Kraydog. Doesn't even have to commit the Unbreakable will, which is, arguably you just kind of pop that instead, and you probably also walk out of that play, but maybe you still have to burn flash because of Cataclysm. So honestly, both sides seem kind of fine. It depends on what you actually value here, but yeah, now it's looking scary. Sheen, we're going the Lichbane route for the Victor here, so the dueling power is going to be even stronger. I don't know if Ahri is actually ever going to be able to just 100-0 the Victor without getting killed first. As soon as that does come through, Drag is up. They're giving Drag. They want this top wave. Rainy, interesting equalizer there. Clears the wave.
More than enough to clear that wave. You're going to flash into the tower, trying to find those kills, but the Cataclysm more than enough. Rift Herald pops mid, but the top laner is gone here for Vengeance. Oh. There's a True Shot barrage coming. Is it going to find? Not even close for the Braum.
Yeah, did try it and find the angle there. We'll be able to catch up the wave on the bot side too on that Ornn. So there's something. They did make a trade of resources. They said, hey, we're giving this drag, and we will find a play on the top side. It was getting a little scary there, but with the Braum, with the Ornn as well, it's just a little bit too easy to actually find that Rumble at the very end. But it does have the TP here to just immediately go back towards that top lane. And Ray, you may get a taste of your own medicine here.
Horn's called, trying to clear the wave as best they can. They're able to find the knockup, but just nothing in the tank. It's too much of a bouncy house. There's too much damage. Aftermoon happy to take that kill.
Yeah, that is, just trade it. You're on the weak side array. Unfortunately, wasn't able to clear the wave in time, but I don't even know if that mattered. You got Alistar with Unbreakable, taking almost no damage to that turret, so was just pretty free on that play. They do have a lot of resets here, so there is some tempo on the map that low-key underrated can exploit to get some nice wards, which there are already quite a few. They should be able to see Wukong here in the top side in just a second. So they have good info, but it's just how do you use that with the actual map pressure that you're putting out here. 5k gold, actually 4k gold is the lead here for Iceborn Vengeance, so They're in a really good spot. They're looking now for Husky. Flashes away in time. That definitely would have been a kill for sure if he did not flash that.
Yes, not a bad usage there too. You've got a long time for this next objective. Yes, it's Baron, but that's going to be hard to force for either of these teams. But you could see maybe something developing towards Corrin here. Philly B has that ultimate, so does Jabber Jabber. Gonna back in the bush. Corrin shows. Cataclysm forces the flash away. Charm able to find up the damage. Just barely there. With Cavalry in tow, it's a shutdown picked up.
Yeah, a lot of farm though going the opposite direction. Husky's gonna get this mid lane turret as well, so that opens up the map so much. Is playing safe, but definitely should just grab up this turret as well. Rumble farming on the opposite side is, you know, another nice consolation prize. They are now looking. Grey Dog and Aftermoon. They find the Braum.
That's a dead Braum.
Ooh.
07.
Yep, rest in peace. Philly B now.
Rest in
bot lane
peace.
turret. Yeah, I mean, you're going for a warding adventure. You got 2 minutes before the drag, but you want to make sure that side is safe. But you're in enemy territory at that point, so just gets taken down. But they want to fight on Aftermoon. Has Cyclone available.
Looking for it. No ultimates for Philly B and Jabber here. They've got Cartonaut in the range, and they're finding something onto this Alistar. It's adding up a little bit more, but nothing else in tow. No way to lock it down. No way to keep up consistent damage, and you've got Aftermoon in the area, too. It's just scary.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Also, Ari getting pulled away for that play. Did not get the local gold for that turret, so just more gold dropping off out of the pockets of XSV, but gold lead still sitting around, 4K, maybe 3K now. So close it up just a little bit, but it really will take one explosive team fight, and they have good team fight here with the Jarvan, the Ari, as well as Corki, of course. So and we're getting to the point where Ornn items are gonna start getting completed. So there is definitely a good opportunity for Wrath to find a fight, maybe on this next Drake, but maybe one Drake after that will be really the big opportunity. But then you have to find the victor, which that's proven to be a very hard task so far.
Yeah, that is so hard, and they're going to try and do it here.
Able
to find a charm. Okay, Philly B. Able to pick up that Corrin. Already falling, and they're going to keep this up onto the Alistar too, but just going to flash away. Should be fine. Aftermoon might have been the target here for more, but nothing really in the tank here. A minute before. Lots burned.
Yeah, not going to be able to find too much besides that kill, but that is a crucial kill onto their wave clear member that also is really good at zoning, and this is the time you'd want the Victor to be up right now to find a little bit of extra poke. You have the Ezreal, you have the Victor, so they're in long range poke and engage with that Rumble ult should be massive. They are going to be still just lurking around in this jungle. 28 seconds on this drag. You don't want to get caught out right now if you are either of these teams. Kraydog now walking forward. They have a ward that they haven't swept yet.
That knockup's gonna miss, and you're really wanting that one to land. Look at them stuck. Cataclysm, it's their own trap. Cyclones, Corrin going crazy with that ultimate. It's growing in size, and Husky Templar keeping that up. Just the last little Cataclysm there. It's a double kill picked up by Corrin, and no one falls from Iceborn Vengeance. Philly B spirit rushing away from the flamethrower. Nothing left here for Wrath.
Yeah, I mean, you group up like that when you are against the Rumble Wukong. It's not going to be looking pretty. Nice engage there by Kratos. Well, I guess counter engage because they actually opted for that fight there. But a little bit way too far forward, and they're going to get hard punished here. The third drag for the Drag Soul will go to the pockets of Iceborn Vengeance. And yeah, we're getting to a point where the gold lead might just be too much. They have to find a couple picks. Like, you're going to have to commit a lot of resources to find the victor, especially now with Flash back in his pocket. And in that meantime, you got this lethal tempo, Ezreal just pumping into you with almost that third item complete at this point. So, very much so an uphill battle ahead.
That's bad. Well, it's bad. It's bad for Wrath. Nothing's really been working, and you have this very good, like, 1 to 2 item fight comp with, like, the ornament to kind of bridge you into the late game with those ornaments, but those aren't really online, just starting now. You can see it's in the Ezreal's inventory, but This is a bad gold deficit to be in. You're dealing with a Fed Victor. You're dealing with a very strong Rumble at this moment, and an Ezreal who has finally really started to show up in these fights, and it's only going to
And they
get
could
worse.
just start it. I was thinking about this. They have the capability to just be able to start it immediately. There will be a control ward coming down. Everyone is in the area. They got the Ornn TP. They can now just walk away. And that's really good discipline for the side of Iceborn Vengeance. They can just do this play on repeat with their current advantage, you know, and just someone needs to go push out the side wave and join up on the fight. They find low key.
Oh, they're happy to take that fight, keeping it going with that Cyclone pick, and it's going to force the flash away. The Braum picked up there just at the last second by Husky, threatening that damage is starting to be big. They're going to find that Flag and Drag knockup, but not much else found, and that's because I can't see it. It's a double kill for the Ezreal. Triple kill, keeps it going. Ornhorn picking up that last second snipe on the shutdown, picked up there by the Ahri. Able to dash away too, but the damage is done.
Yeah, they do find some picks. They do lose the Ezreal in the meantime, but that is a 3 for 2. So very much so advantageous on the map. With the support still alive, you got a lot of time here to just clear up some of these wards that they committed on this Baron, and then, hey, they could just do it again in just a couple minutes now. As soon as that Cyclone comes back up, I imagine they'll be looking for it once again. Especially since Rainy gets the push here and has the TP advantage for this next play. So it's going to be very hard, especially since the Ahri is on the Ignite, so you don't have a kind of backup option as a split target. You just kind of have to accept, hey, guess what? We're just giving up these waves. That's just what's going to happen. We need to win this Baron fight.
I don't really understand why run the Ignite, though. I feel like TP is just such a free thing to go. They are going to find this knockup on a Kraydog, so my tangent is stopped, and that is the ultimate pop from the Alistar. Baron is up. Could be something, but it's just still a pretty tanky cow.
Nice Q there. Kraydog tries to dodge away.
Oh, there it is. It's not tanky at all. Not in the face of a charm.
Yeah, but what do you get off of this? You killed the support, which had a shutdown. So fortunate enough, it's a little bit of extra gold in their pocket, but that is also the Spirit Rush committed. It won't be on that long of a cooldown, but this does give some time for Ornn to just walk up towards topside and guarantee that they have the inside track on the Baron here. So maybe they just go for a Force or another Bush Bait, but I don't know. It's still definitely scary. I think it's still a losable fight, even without the Alistar. So they have to play this very cautiously. A bit of poke coming in. Philly B not too worried. But they've stalled it out a bit.
It's enough.
Yeah. I don't think you want to take too much poke before any of these fights. And there's still the Victor coming in. So they will call it off and go for some resets here. They're trying to stall for this Ornn TP, I think, crucially, so that they have the map pressure for it. As for your tangent of why Ahri would take Ignite, I guess really trying to get out to an early lead against the Victor. But I mean, it's so hard to solo kill Victor a lot of the time. The extra shielding just constantly will always be something that will be annoying. And I feel like you just kind of handshake that and you take the either a Ghost. Honestly, I'm okay with a Ghost against Victor because he will always like to go Ghost anyways. And that at least gives some map movement potential. I know Ahri, it's a little bit weird, but hey, I could see a case for it.
It's not like a, oh my god, this is so troll, but it's a like a, are you sure you want to run the same thing? Are you sure, Rainy, you wanted to TP to there?
He's looking for a long flank here. This is they did not spot him on this backside here. They know he's not on the top side, so he should be somewhere, but now they do see him on the bot side and they all move. They do not want to get flanked right now. They're trying to find the Rumbles, chase him away out of this play. Jabber very split from the team though. Aftermoon trying to look for it.
Charm goes wide. They're going to pop that Ornhorn, but there's the combo into the back line. It's Rip City for the Cyclone. Aftermoon's going to take a ton of damage and already popped down there by that Corki. Could be the fight that Wrath wants there. The burn coming through. This Rumble springing that trap, and it's more than enough for Wrath to keep going. It's just Corn and Husky moving on out. Double kill picked up by Husky, though. Keeps the fight alive, at least for Iceborn Vengeance, but the body count still looking good, and Ezreal on the wrong side of history. They've got a lot of work to do here. So much healing, as you mentioned. It's just Kartana really the only one left in terms of HP that can contest this, and one Mystic Shot's going to be all they wrote there. It's going to go wide there, and that's exactly what you want for Wrath on the upper hand just for a second.
Yeah, they do find the kill there onto the Wukong immediately. Doesn't find as big of an engage as you would like. Jabber now maybe looking for an engage over the wall, but just going to make sure it doesn't get poked out too much. They will secure their second Drake of the game here, and that's a little sign of life here. The gold lead now shrinking to probably the probably the lowest it's been since 10 minutes into this one. Just 2k gold now the advantage here for Iceborn Vengeance. So this is actually a really good kind of sequence there where they realize, okay, we're on a rumble flank, so we're on a timer. Ornn commits the Ornn Horn. They're able to kind of kite away from the Wukong in particular. Yes, they get triple knockup from the Alistar, but they're able to disengage very effectively with the help of Philly B's Spirit Rush and, you know, find some of that pressure back on the map. Now, they have the time to get the wards down since there was a lot of minion cleanup that needed to be done. Committing the smite here, but not too much of a concern with that second smite in the pocket. Jabber now has a lot of space to try and find an early engage, but their Baron isn't the fastest. You do have Corki, of course, so that's still something. But as soon as you see Corki kind of disappear, you're always going to be thinking, hey, they could do this pretty quick. So I think they should be not too bad here. Kraydog now dodging away. Ray trying to find something. They find the Corki on a knockup, but no follow-up is there. Damage just a little bit too far away. I don't know. It seems so difficult. I think if Rainy had Zhonya's in that last fight, it would be a very different scenario. But does get bursted down in that last one. So now with the stopwatch in hand, well, I guess it's arm guard now. I'm still calling it stopwatch. I don't care. Definitely a little bit more threat on that rumble. So a little bit
Very
of like a
hard to
dicey
burst.
scenario here. I think they're gonna play for
You're
basically this next drag spawn in 3 minutes and kind of force them away. But a lot of resources are being committed to hold this zone.
very scary that Cartana got that auto in. First, did a ton of damage. Second, I'm shocked no one pulled the trigger on that from Iceborn Vengeance. I guess you need your Rumble here. They're viewing themselves as we need this Rumble for this damage. But at this point, this is the start of the Ezreal Victor of you really need to be finding poke before these fights. You're not going to win outright fights unless you're landing literally everything perfect, and that's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen anywhere. So they need to start establishing some sort of poke, some sort of early damage, and that's probably going to come in the form of some good True Shot barrages.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage, they are probably also waiting for that Victor Flash. I think it's very important just because you have the long-range engage of the Ornn, Ahri, and Jarvan. So Jarvan's going to start this one up. They're still going to show Corki on this ward as well, so they know it can't be getting taken down quickly. They're all just sitting in this bush. Big True Shot Barrage here just to spot them out. And kind of a folly attempt of a sneak bait is just going to kind of fizzle away as they are taking some damage. Cray just immediately pops ult.
Pops it ult, it's going to go way into the back line. That's a really good equalizer. It's cooking Wrath alive, trying to find the damage there. And Cartana's going to go on a rampage, picking up the Wukong. Double kill, looking clean. It's Wrath just running over Vengeance Core and able to flash away. Husky did find Ray, but the damage is done. Holy, it's getting turned on its head. Husky, untouched. Just cleanly finding these kills. Triple looking for that last auto. It's a quadra kill for Iceborn Vengeance's Husky. What happened?
Such a crucial fight there, and the two carries from Iceborn Vengeance come out on top. I mean, that was very dicey. Husky has to pump his entire kit for like basically the entire life of the other three players just directly into the Ornn just to shred through that HP bar. Corrin at least able to find some damage onto the squishier members and really poke them down for Husky to get that quadra, but still, very close fight there. I think that was really well played from Wrath, but they just couldn't find the closeout on the Victor since the flash did come back up. They waited long enough for that condition to be satisfied. Now, Drake up in 40 seconds. This is Soul for Vengeance, and now Wrath is in that, hey, we don't have much map pressure here, and they're going to have to find some really nice engage onto Corrin or Husky now with those sums down.
Two big summoners that are still up at this moment. It's Wukong and Alistar Flash here for Iceborn Vengeance. They've still got key engage tools there just from that fight alone. So it's not down and out here for Vengeance. Usually you're going to lose a fight like that as Wrath. You'd be like, okay, we can re-engage. It's fine. They're missing these summoners, but they've still got key engage summoners at this moment. Yes, the carries are gone, but Husky was so hard to lock down there.
Yeah, Husky playing over the wall there was pretty crucial. Rumble now going to clean up the mid wave. The extra super minions definitely going to be a benefit in this one. Rumble could even just threaten pushing even further into the base and forcing a recall from someone. So they are going to be trying to play it slow, but the Ornhorn's always something to be careful, and I think they engaged on Rumble here. Stopwatch committed. He's just taken down immediately. Can't find any value, and now they're in a bad spot.
Finally. Could be the bad spot here. Ornhorn's going to get casted. Just goes wide with the field goal. Able to find the Glacial Fissure onto 2, but Corrin's still safe. Kraydog eating up everything. Now it's turned on to Aftermoon. The clone, though, happy to eat all that damage. Good knockup, but it's return Jabber. Happy to be in the back line, but maybe not anymore. Cycle pop by Aftermoon, taking all the damage, and still Kartana basically untouched. Philly B untouched in these backlines here. This dragon still contested. Corrin moving forward, trying to reclaim this Tribrush. 3,000 left on this dragon, looking for a little bit more. Husky happy to take this healing, happy to take these Qs. That's the soul picked up by Aftermoon. Charm's gonna find Kraydog, but happy to get over with the flash and clone through the wall. Wrath, they gave up the space.
Yeah, they kind of sequestered themselves. The Ornn and basically the two supportive pieces got separated from the main force of Wrath, and you need those supportive pieces to be tanking some of this poke from Husky and Corrin. So Husky keeps those two supportive members at bay with those Mystic shots, and Corrin just able to pump into those carries. So it's just a little bit scary, and I feel like they played it slightly wrong despite finding such a big opener onto this Rumble, who now with the Mountain Soul, definitely going to be a little bit harder to burst down in a sequence like that. Baron's just
now you're
shredded.
in a
Oh my
spot.
God,
Yeah,
that
it's
is
gone.
that
It's
is
gone.
a disgusting amount of damage on that Baron.
That was your dream scenario, honestly, for Wrath. They're missing the Rumble, which not the primary damage, of course. They've got 3 proper carries that are in great spots, but that's a lot of damage from the Equalizer that's gone, and they still seem so apprehensive to pull the trigger because they're lacking a lot of tools that had to get burned to catch out that Rumble. So they're just wasn't enough to take that fight in the river the way they wanted to. They were really off kilter with those positionings, and you mentioned it was just too hard to get to Husky, too hard to get to Corrin properly. So much was spent just to reclaim the river space that was lost, let alone even start really working on those HP bars.
Yeah, I think they played it just a little bit too fast. The Ezreal, doesn't have flash in that scenario, and you still have the Ornhorn, despite the Spirit Rush going down. So you just need to kind of force them away in baby steps. And then they went for the big, oh, we have Ornhorn here. They're all stacked up. Let's go for it. And unfortunately, they just take so much damage trying to go for it in that much faster, much more waterfall style entry. And it just doesn't work out for them. And now they have to contend with this Baron. And a lot of flashes
Ezreal
back
Baron.
up. Yeah.
Ezreal Victor with Baron.
Lichbane, by the way.
God, this is with Lichbane on Corrin too. Ugh. This is hard. True Shot Barrage, as you can see, it's not dealing a lot of damage, but this is what's scary. You can't clear waves without just losing so much
Charm.
HP. Aftermoon looking for it. Cyclone on 2, Charm prop, but it's not doing anything. It's the Equalizer. Aftermoon re-engaged on, still alive. Good peeling there from Kraydog, keeps Aftermoon alive, able to find that kill on the Jabber, and that's the Victor all putting in the work. So much damage found there. We're going to 1 dead here. Wrath losing that member there. This siege continues from Iceborn Vengeance as they're looking to find this re-engage there. And Ray, you didn't want to do that at all. Unstoppable backline flashing away. Kraydog keeping them slowed. Tower's going to fall. There's nothing stopping Husky as they're going to go continue forward. Lots of damage, but Corrin finds the kill. Goes on a rampage. The Nexus towers are gone. It's open. And Iceborn Vengeance keep up the pressure. Eyes set on the prize.
The game. Iceborn Vengeance. Take it in a very clean game, but also in the same way, a very good perseverance there from Wrath to find the one angle that would give them an opportunity, but unfortunately for them, they just didn't have it in them to close it out. Very close, though. I will say, if they actually find another kill after that initial Rumble kill, they are in a really good spot to just kind of take it in that scenario.
It's so close. It doesn't look like, yes, the gold isn't that close. The kills are relatively close. It's just very few key mistakes that costed them the game here for Wrath. And I think specifically it's looking at, you pick this early to mid game comp and you can't get anything done. Now granted, that's on Iceborn Vengeance not giving up anything at all. So good on them. Kudos to Iceborn Vengeance more than like a mark on Wrath here. But if that's your game plan as Wrath, you need to be picking something that's able to really force the issues. I'm talking tower dives, or I need to get comfortable doing that. Because Vengeance, they're not going to give you an angle at all for what it took. Like 20,
Like at least
it
12
took
minutes,
like 10, 15
12
minutes
to even get a kill,
Yeah,
I
12
think,
minutes.
something like that.
Yeah. If they're not going to give that to you, you got to find something else.
Yeah, very controlled game there. They did have some opportunity that they could have maybe found something bigger. I will say in that last fight, I think the real problem was they found a nice engage onto the players that they needed to, but unfortunately, Cartana was stuck in the mid lane clearing these super minions that were barreling down. So just unfortunate timing for them, and they end up going down. That drag fight definitely could have gone their way, and we've been having a very different discussion right now. So kudos to Wrath, but they didn't have it in them for that one, so I hope to see them do better in that game too.
But the benefits. It's a best of 3. You got one more chance here for Wrath. Statement win by Iceborn Vengeance. Down but not out. Wrath have a lot to work on here. We'll see you once Game 2 draft starts. Welcome back, everybody. A little bit longer of a break. Apologies. But game two going to be popping underway just in a short second. We saw a fairly competitive game one, but there was very clear things that Wrath could improve.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll just get straight into the draft. I think we talked a lot about those improvements they could make at the end of that last one, but it wasn't something where I felt like they're like necessarily really outmatched. It's just they didn't have a good opportunity for, finding big plays early on. Um, this time, once again, it's going to be the same exact sides as last. So they want that last pick as they had in that last game, but that final pick was a Braum, and it didn't really come up too big in that last one. So I'm curious to see if they would rather prioritize something like top lane instead in this one. But there was an early pick Rumble. They picked the Ornn into it. They handshook that matchup, saying, hey, we're cool with just playing Ornn here. And I think it wasn't the worst decision. It gives their early game composition a little bit more staying power towards the mid and late game. But unfortunately didn't actually end up turning up to anything big here. Akali and Akshan still the two bans here against Philly B, just preventing those two champions from being played. And Mbessa Orianna once again banned away against Iceborn here. So what's the first powerful pick you couldn't actually lock up? A lot of 80 carry bans in that last game in the second rotation, so it makes a lot of sense to just grab it up now, especially since that early pick Rumble is something that was taken off the table and Mbessa already banned, so no easy flex picks that you can lock in. So
Not bad.
See a Trundle, interesting.
Oh, their Wrath is reading a tank, I guess, because
Mundo?
yeah,
Usually
maybe a
is the
Mundo.
counter. It's very
But
interesting.
just raw R1 R2 Trundle Jin is.
Oh, I see. Okay, so they're like, we're playing Jin. We're definitely gonna have some way to kill your tank. So don't go too far into the tanks index. They're just giving them a warning in the draft, of course.
Just telling them exactly when they're going to attack and how they're going to attack, and everything else in between. So Rise, hey, let's start trying to justify this Trundle here. Rise Leona, you got something there, some HP to shred, some resistances to grab, but I'm looking at Iceborn Vengeance already kind of on top right now at this
Yeah,
point.
they have such easy engage. Leona Varus, definitely some really nice options here. Yone is actually a pretty good pick here against the Rise, also against any immobile carries. So both of those conditions kind of fully satisfied here, and you do have the Jhin for some setup as well. So now I'm looking for a top laner who with some setup again. Obviously, you can't go back to that Ornn you had before. You could also play something that's a little bit more lane dominant, like a Renekton. But I'd be very scared of picking a Renekton in this first slot here, because there's a chance the Varus gets flexed up to top lane. And if anyone watched this last weekend, you'll know Varus top, very powerful into Renekton as well. So definitely you got to be a bit careful what you lock in here in particular, because you could always just get a Varus flex immediately if it's a little bit too poor. So Karma and Jhin going to be that bot lane combo into that assumed Varus Leona. So now what is the blind pick top laner going to be for Iceborn?
Well, that's not top lane yet. Isn't that one of the better responses in a Trundle? If I remember correctly,
Yeah.
Ivern's like win rate wise one of the best responses. And if you got a really good Ivern player with that Aatrox, this is looking really spicy. You could bring that Trundle top. It's not as common as it was, a year and a half ago at this point, but it's still a possibility. I'm not going to entertain it there because that's a Mordekaiser.
Yeah, Mordekaiser are going to be the answer here. So looking to really isolate out this Aatrox, find the duels in a confined area where the Aatrox can't kite as well. And yeah, Trundle might be a little homeless this game. I'm not going to lie. We'll see how that ends up actually playing out here. Does actually have the extra resistances you can grab from the Leona in particular, so maybe potential there. But the long range poke from the Varus is definitely going to be something that they're going to have to contend with. I think their big opener here is going to be the fact that they do have the Karma So that gives them some sort of flexibility here. Makes me think maybe you should have just went like Karma Sivir, for instance, just to really guarantee that that Trundle can get on the carries that he needs to, and same for the Mordekaiser as well. But they went for a little bit more of a brawly composition, and once again, they're coming to, with Karma Jin, you kind of need to win that lane, but you're against Varus, which is going to be another thing that kind of just survives lane. Doesn't really have to worry too much about that particular extra poke that the Karma's going to be putting up. So I don't know. It's a very interesting position, and you talked about it. Ivern does indeed counter the Trundle. This is like a tale as old as time. So it's just going to be a little bit hard for Jabber, and I feel like it's kind of like, unlike last game where Jabber felt like, oh, you need to find something with this Jarvan, and I think he did a pretty decent job finding the flash early on of that Victor, and then going for a regank, stuff like that. But now you're on the Trundle into an Ivern who clears just as fast as you do. I don't know. I'd be a little bit worried. I'm curious whether to see if it's going to be the more supportive build that we've been seeing with Trundle, with like Knight's Vow and Bandle Pipes maybe. But who really knows? I still assume an early damage item is up for grabs here, just to be able to do some extra damage to those carries.
It's about what I'm anticipating. I need to see. You mentioned it. I'm gonna like emphasize you. I need to see power farming from Jabber here. They've really got to step up and be that. Honestly, one of the primary carries at that one item spike specifically. Yes, you look across the board. Oh my god, everyone else is into this. Why are you saying this? It's because we're gonna cross over into that 3-item, 4-item range that we seem pretty happy to hit last game, and Trundle into this. Oh man, you gotta have impact early.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be dodging away from those Tangle Root or Tangle Barbs, whatever. No, that's actually Nico's ability. Something similar for Ivern's Q. And obviously Chains of Corruption, nice long range engage, as well as Leona's ultimate as well. So just a lot of things you got to get through, Aatrox included, just to be able to get onto these carries. So a very good like kind of death ball comp, but not in the traditional sense where you have that tank that can kind of tank a lot of things. They just create a really nice zone that is hard to get through, and Yone is going to be pretty crucial in getting in there, as well as Mordekaiser to pull one of those utility pieces away.
And that kind of brings something I mentioned a little bit more in other leagues, but I'm kind of expecting Ray to just be ulting the correct target every single fight on Kuku. That's going to be changing around here. Jabber's going to get early and active with that early level 3 gank, finding Corrin, though. The pillar not going to find the knockup, and Billy B going to miss as well. Corrin's just going to walk away with the ghost.
Yeah, it gets at least the summoner out of Corrin there. The ghost is definitely something valuable, but earlier on, you're very happy to be able to dodge away from that Q3 from Philly B, and just gives a lot more space to this Rise than probably he should have had. I will say this is exhaust on the Yone, so expect a lot of dueling come mid-game where you're just kind of leveraging the exhaust's power, as now I'm getting a little bit of lag, so
Okay, I'm like...
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God, dude.
League of Legends just decided to lag. I thought that was me.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Because I'm like, oh my God, is it happening again? I just spent the last 10 minutes trying to troubleshoot those. But no, we're all good. It's just League. The standard issues. But...
Wonderful League of Legends. Can't wait for League next year. Woo!
Yeah, League 2. Woo! Hopefully they fix it. They won't. But finding a lot of trades here. I expect this from Karma Jin specifically. It's not... a like hard winning counter here, as Tangent's gonna go away. Aftermoon finds that root on a Ray, just gonna have to flash over the wall. It's followed by Aftermoon slow with that shield as well. Ray keeps it going, and Ray's gonna flash forward too, but the good pull is away. Ray stays alive.
So many resources burned, 2 flashes, Rainy and Aftermoon. Aftermoon just gonna cancel the back. This is kind of tough for Ray. I think the Q's gonna come back up for the Ivern in time. Oh no, just actually short. So we'll commit the recall here. Not going to actually do a little bit more terrorist activity on the Ivern. Allows Ray to just go for the back. So, not too bad indeed. Husky and Kraydog obviously surviving the lane. I think this is just going to be a lane where they kind of just look at each other. Yeah, there's going to be some poke going both ways, but until a jungler shows up, nothing really big going to happen. Maybe at level 6 if the Jhin gets a little bit too far forward. Aftermoon here on the bot side immediately, so just skipping all camps, just immediately going
That's a very
for
good
it.
karma. Oh, Root's going to land too. Aftermoon follows that up. It's flashed away by Loki. Underrated stays alive. They're going to find their own root, but the stun up again from the Shield of Daybreak, and the first blood picked up by Husky.
Yeah, very nicely played there from the bot lane of Iceborn. Just Karma not respecting the Ivern even being in the area, but also Ivern did, I don't even know if it was needed, just a little bit of an extra confidence boost for them to actually find that. Does burn the flash of the Karma immediately, and the Vera's damage is there in time to actually go for that kill. Husky now getting a free recall. Okay, we'll get canceled once, but can't get canceled twice, so we'll just fully commit for that. And I'm curious to see how much gold actually is in his pocket. I also, what build? You know, that's always a factor. This is an Arcane Comet, but that doesn't mean it can't be a little bit more of a spicy build, but it will be that Dirk first buy. An Assassin's favorite classic, Dirk first buy, so seems like we will be going that poke Varus route. So that
Maybe?
zone control, Corrin will definitely flash, maybe?
Not at all. No flash coming. That's the fate sealed. Finds another knockup. Corrin holding on for a long time. Another knockup's going to find, but should just be able to get away. Held on that flash maybe too long, but the Qs are going to go wide. Snapback isn't enough. Tower shot just barely not enough to live, but no kill on the board.
Corrin just holding it for as long as possible, trying to bait them a little bit too far forward. I mean, hey, I'm not the one sitting in that seat. There's a good reason for it. I feel like that trigger discipline was insane, though. That was very dicey. Just wanted to try to squeeze out any extra value, maybe on a potential return kill, but Philly B barely able to survive with that W shield. I believe actually had to W shield there. If not, the cannon minion would have taken him out. So very well played from both sides. And somehow, some way, despite a lot more action, Iceborn still 1k gold up at 6 minutes again. And, I mean, it's mainly looking like it's just some CS leads, mid and top in particular, with that extra kill on top of it, just giving them a bit of a lead. But this time coming out to a nice early Drake for Jabber and the bot lane of XSV Wrath.
I do like in Aftermoon's inventory is the Dark Seal specifically. That's something that a lot of people really forget about, is just how good those AP ratios are, and did find that root, but damage not quite up there yet. Your maxing shield is there's
Ooh.
the pause coming through. Uh-oh. Never good to see.
Yeah, gotta love League of Legends here. Oh, reconnected. Thank God for spectator delay, so we get to skip out on some of that wait. Nothing too crazy, but now we get the classic Riot Games scheduled pause to make sure the delay is in check. So don't worry, we're not frozen. We're just waiting out the usual methods here.
Yeah, just I don't know why this still exists. I don't get it. But yeah, that's me. I'm a little monkey man. It's a mainstay at this point.
Yeah. This is like if this didn't exist, I don't know if Leave Next they remove that somehow, which I don't know if they will overhaul the replay system. It seems unlikely. It probably will stick around even through a client update. I'm not gonna lie. So have to see how that goes. Husky Templar now in a pretty good spot, has the Chains of Corruption, so Jhin now in a little bit of danger.
Found. So much damage there. Gonna open up the curtain call. A lot of damage getting popped out there, and Husky's gonna find Loki underrated. It's traded away. Both supports falling, and the Trundle's here, able to dodge away from the root, but now Daisy putting in some work on a Kartana, but should be fine. Knockup found, looking for the root. It's not available. Mini wave in the good spot, but 1 for 1.
Yeah, Kartana not gonna have to force a flash there. Philly B taking some poke here. This is how Rise likes to play. Just a lot of down and dirty EQ, EQ, EQ. Classic to the Reddit, if anyone knows. That's a long time ago now. Yeah, now Yone going in for a little bit of a poke. Grey Dog in the area. Will get the stun, but unfortunately not in time. Snapback is there. And,
Just good.
Yeah, good timing there. Drag is up at 3 minutes, so a lot of extra time just to kind of chill out. Grubs are available on the top side. Ivern, unfortunately, very slow at taking grubs, especially without Daisy in the pocket. So gonna have to definitely wait for that cooldown at the very least, or get a very significant amount of help on that buff.
Need some help. You can Definitely. It's one of those where like Yubi can clear the jungle. Ivern can clear the grubs on his own, but you do need help, like you mentioned, and they're gonna get that with this Leona, at least in the area. The threat is there here, so Wrath just deciding that's a non-issue here, but now you gotta kind of abuse it in the bot lane. And Karma Jin, famous, I don't know if you can hear dripping off my voice. Famous for their dives.
Yeah. Ooh. Gotta
Woohoo!
love clicking Q and W from Karma and Jin, respectively.
Famous dive
Uh,
tools.
yeah, very, very I mean, you could click R too if you want to. Um, Husky Templar though on the Varus, that champ's very notorious for diving though, for real this time. With especially with Leona as well. So that's when you kind of have to be careful, and especially with the level lead on Kraydog here. You could actually look for something right now, but Trundle already in the area, just potentially covering for that before this Karma actually does hit that level 6, which does matter less because it's Karma. You start with level 1 with R. But now they are going to be looking for a fight on bot lane.
Try and find it. Good Pillar's going to lock down Husky for a while. Solar Flare popping out, trying to find some more continuation. The Curtain Call's going to open up. They're going to pick up the kill out of Karma. Turning tail and running. Wrath has to get away, and Daisy is lumbering towards them, but no other follow-up. Just the one kill, but those are starting to add up.
Yeah, well played there from Husky. Nice flash away from a lot of the CC possibility, and then able to just sit behind that support to be able to get away from that R. Now we have a fight in the top side.
Rainy is stuck in the death realm, but happy to take this fight, staying close. That passive is starting to put in a little bit of work, but they're going to pop out of this. World Ender was popped, so both ultimates coming on through, and the pull just barely going to miss. Mordekaiser should be on the top of this, though, with that shield.
Yeah, Ray with a bit of a performative flash, in my opinion, so able to just get away from any potential trade that Aatrox could have maybe made, but now in a bad spot because you don't have that flash now.
Ooh, so close, and that root is more than enough to guarantee it, and it's going to Afterboot.
Yeah, and Echoes of Healy already completed. That's the benefit of going these support items, and Echoes is definitely an underrated item on a lot of supports, but when it comes to Ivern, this is some bread and butter for some extra damage. You get to cheese out with that shield damage modifier thing. I don't even know how to describe it in a very short way, but good item completion, and we do have Trinity Force done for the Trundle as well, so both these junglers fully online, so expect some action from either of them. That is insane that that cannon just died to that one caster right there. Poor Kartana.
Or Kartana.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Has to happen when you're playing Jhin.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's how the champ goes. R gonna go wide here. Low-key underrated. Very good dodge, so...
A little early on that rift. Now you don't have that big tool here for Dragon specifically. No Leona ults. That's gonna be a hard contest here if they want to try and do this.
They have 5 people though.
They do have 5. Granted,
power and friendship. Let's go. They find the Drake. I don't know how the Aatrox... I wasn't paying attention that much. I don't know how the Aatrox moseyed his way on down to the Dragon here, but I mean that's definitely going to be to their benefit. Now Mordekaiser has some free time in the top side. I'm surprised to not see Korn even try to roam, but doesn't want to be potential victim to a weak side rise at this point in the game. Ray's just going to get some extra plate gold here, so not going to be too much of a concern. We'll get pulled back in, but Minion's still alive to tank up the turret, so we'll be able to just chill. Rainy has the World Ender, though.
Oh, keeping that up, and they do have Death Realm, but the damage is actually done a lot onto the Mordekaiser. They're going to call the help. Here's the friendship. It's coming, and Pillar locking down Rady here for a second. Keeps up the combo, though, with the Aatrox, finding that knockup, but hey, that Pillar putting in a little bit of work. Still forced the flash from Jabber because the Mordekaiser just couldn't get close.
Yeah, I'm surprised to not just see the ultimate committed there from Ray at the very start before all this poke can actually come through, just to be able to take away some of those stats and actually, contest a little bit, and then the Trundle comes in once the Tread comes through. So a little bit kind of uncoordinated from the top jungle there of XSV Wrath, but also a little bit of a gold deficit. No first completed item for the Mordekaiser. So it does make some sense. Now looking, Jabber wants to find it onto Kraydog.
Diller's back here. Jabber's ready to take this fight, and the curtain call is going to open up, trying to find the damage on a Kraydog, and they're going to start taking it because that W is dropped. But still, a lot's been done to this Trundle. Shield pop there from the Karma, trying to get this Trundle out of dodge and able to make it away. Still 1-for-1, and
Nice.
it's not a bot play without low-key underrated falling.
Yeah, Corrin now looking for Cortana.
Oh, keeps up under the tower. Deadly Flourish locking them down, still alive. Daisy doesn't have the range.
And Daisy will go down, the one soul member on that side to go down besides Kraydog, of course. No drag on the bot side, of course, so not going to have to worry about that one. Rainy now, once again, just going for some poke on the top side. Now they're going to look towards mid. If Philly B stays around a little bit too long, I could see this going over to them, but going to go tapping around towards this top side. Does look for a little bit, but Wise to just immediately snap back with that E. Philly B will still live.
Still up, still kicking. More, of course, the most important thing to keep getting farm. And hey, Wrath have put themselves in a better spot lane wise, more than anything else. So we were at this point in the last game. It was already 3,000 gold out of their favor, and it was almost entirely through laning phase stuff. And mostly it's on Jabber here. He's been getting a lot of work done. Speaking of which, showing up bot lane might be a little too overextended because the Iron is here, and here comes the cavalry closing in on poor Jabber. Heal pop, trying to get them away. Deadly Flourish just going to miss onto the Varus, able to make their way out of the play. Leona trying to pop the Zenith Blade. Solar Flare going through, trying to find this burst onto Jabber, but still alive, still able to make it out of the play again. Jabber just abandoned.
Yeah, able to get away. That was a little bit dicey. I thought for sure the Trundle would go down there, but the damage is just not there with Ivern not having Daisy available. But they go in again. Husky Templar.
Oh, Cortana, you shouldn't have done that. Way too close, and a lot's going to go wide there, trying to catch out underrated, but the flash was forced from this Karma.
Yeah, very well played there. Now, Gold Lead's still sitting at just 2k, so you could see the strengths of Iceborn Vengeance here. Their early game is so hard to pierce, and they play these kind of mid to late game scaling compositions. So, hey, if they're not giving up much in the early game, you're just always going to feel so pressured coming into that mid to late game against champions that really shouldn't be able to get there for that free. So, I mean, this is where they're kind of demonstrating their strengths here, and XSV's kind of feeling the pain. The Trundle early, obviously not exactly the best champion early on, but having to deal with an Ivern in particular as well as a Leona is just not easy for that champion.
I think a big positive of Ivern specifically is you get to look at the itemization. You get to go Enchanter. You get these super cheap items, 1, 0, and 4, 2 items plus 6-stack Darksteel. That's a scary Ivern. Daisy's going to start hurting. Those shields are going to start hurting. This is a proper carry, and Iceborn Vengeance are happy to try and start taking advantage of this because that farm can start getting donated to the carries.
Yeah, full support here on both that Moonlight as well as what is it? The oh man, it went off my screen. My brain just decided. Oh, I'm gonna forget what that was. Helia, that's it. But yeah, Gold Leads mainly just on that top, mid, and AD carry. So
the carries.
Yeah, the 3 people you wanted on, you have Gold Leads, and then your support Ivern is matching gold with the carry Trundle. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit interesting. Nice dodge away there from Rainy. Of course, we couldn't see that because of how the Rift works. Love that. But this will be a drag on the bot side just because of that extra pressure of a 4-0-1 Varus, who probably will back and get a full Muramana at that point. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We do have Rylai's on the Mordekaiser, which I think is fine, but your damage will be a little bit lower, at least in the 1v1. But you have a little bit more sticking power.
Oh, Realm Warp. They're going to try and catch out the Karma here. Able to make it under the tower. At least the Jin's ready, but underrated. It's a bot play, so you know what that means. Husky Templar is going unstoppable. They pop this DP, though. Looking for this return play. Mordekaiser in the backline. Able to find one with the drag. Going to pop that Varus into the Death Realm. Trying to keep up. But that Varus, once they die, the Mordekaiser is going to be on top of some enemy lines. And they moved away. It's a shutdown. Just picked up yearly for free for this Mordekaiser. So far, 1-for-1 of the play.
Yeah, just got a little bit outplayed there. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Just got clicked R on, had no really big resources or potential to duel since this is lethality Varus, so a lot more susceptible to just getting 1v1 by Mordekaiser than on hit probably would be. On hit most likely just shreds through this Mordekaiser, so that's the conscious choice that you make with these builds. Corrin also just doing a great job on the map. Haven't really seen Yone kind of get away from this mid lane. It's mostly just been top lane. There was that one bot lane sequence that didn't really amount to much. So I'm definitely looking for a little bit more action from the Yone. 0-0-0 at the moment, whereas this Rise with now 2 items completed has really done a lot of work just to cover this Ivern and make sure that the bot lane has some extra pressure that they normally wouldn't have.
And part of the Rise being ahead is typically you're looking at Yone as, oh, this premier side laning champion, happy to exist in that 1v1, always as kill threat, and that's not false, but look at those items are very important. Seraphs and Roa, yes, very low from those trades, but still alive, still kicking, giving Aftermoon the chance to try and look for this kill. Daisy is popped and starting to look for these knockups, but I don't think there's a whole lot of follow-up because here comes that Trundle, here comes the Karma. They're getting out of there and flash burn by Aftermoon. Here comes Leona on the backside looking for something, but the root's going to go onto that Karma. Underrated now getting turned on, looking for this play. The Solar Flare is going to just get whiffed. Corrin picking up the kill though. Trundle has to run now. Yone looking for this re-engage, able to find the knockup, but nothing else. There's the chains, and it's able to get found onto nothing. Keeping up the fight going. Curtain Call is going to open, just poking through. It's a whole lot of nothing burgers and just some dead.
Yeah, but at the very least, it does save Jabber there from getting, continuously chased for the rest of that sequence. So they're able to skate away from that fight that looked even worse than it initially did. But, it still did cost them a lot of resources. I will say gold lead has shrunk. It's only 1k now over XSV Wrath. So these kinds of plays have given a little bit of room for Wrath to catch up in the CS department. So definitely at least a good look in that way. Philly B going to dodge away from that Zenith Blade, not have to worry about it too much. Jabber kind of wants a fight since the Karma's also in the area, but they don't know Aftermoon's here, so they definitely have to be playing a little bit more reserved.
Gotta be like there's some reason this half HP Leona and Rise are confident, and that's the trap sprung. Solar Flare is gonna find that knockup and the damage onto more from the Daisy, but there's not enough to burst that Trundle here quite yet. But it's more than enough to take down Underrated. It's a repeat, able to get away just for a second. Another Verisalt's gonna go wide there, looking for some extra damage, and Aftermoon's gonna pick up the kill on a Philly B. Trundle trying to heat up, but you're not tanky, buddy. Husky's happy to take that kill, delivered on a silver platter. It's the sniper with the double kill. Rumwolf going behind. Jin trying to find the kill, popping the cleanse for Noct. It's Corrin picking up the kill. It's Iceborn Vengeance running away.
Yeah, the Moonstone Renewer value, that entire fight was just insane. The amount of healing it was pumping out every time Ivern even just clicked E. Excuse me, sorry. I don't know how loud that was. I hope the mic did cut properly, but yeah, just some disgusting stuff from full support Ivern, honestly. Now Ray wants to find some action. Been abandoned on the top side. Rainy trying to just survive it. I don't think there's enough damage, especially with that Q going wide.
Oh, the pull might be enough if they can find an ISO, but still not isolated here. That's where you need to be fighting those kills. Like, hey, as a top laner, this could be my impact, but there's just not enough damage. I think that's a Lich. Is that going to be a Lichbane second? No? What's it?
I mean, Dusk and Dawn?
Dusk and Dawn. Okay. Yeah. But is that enough damage? Are you going to be squishy? Because look at the front line from Wraith is...
I mean, you just have to get through an Ivern full support with Medjai's as well. Good luck.
And a Leona.
Looking for a play on Philly B, and I think Philly B is just going to get taken down.
Philly B's very dead. Goodbye, Philly B. Almost an overkill with the Leona ult there, as the Fate Seal just popped. Corrin's going to go on a killing spree, and that dragon is guaranteed, and where's the side lane play?
Yeah. And also, Leona's one of those champions that gets to benefit from the buffed up version of, the belt. I'll call it the belt. So really just being able to use that to make sure you have some extra tankiness, and Rainy now.
Oh, the focus here. That's that side lane play I mentioned, and they're trying to find it, and they can't burst it. The World Ender under the tower, happy to get it going with Corrin showing up in tow to go on a rampage. Jin able to fancy beat their way out of the Zenith Blade, but Rain, yeah, that's delivered. Corrin going unstoppable, and the Aatrox keeps up the chase onto the Jin, trying to get away. Good prediction from the Solar Flare, but still dodged away. Eyes are turning onto this Baron, and the Jin and the top side is, yeah, goodbye. You're playing AD carry, my friend.
Yeah, Rainy able to survive with the extra lifesteal from the World Ender. This is looking very lights out now for Wrath with this Baron getting taken as well. I just don't think they have it in the tank to be able to get through an Ivern, Varus, and a Ryze. They are even going to Well Warp. Unfortunately for Husky, not able to join the team, but that doesn't even matter at this stage. Rione with a Folly side push here as well, so, I mean, hey, you get a turret, at least, as a trade on the bot side.
Hey, here's 400 gold. By the way, this Baron power play is already 3,600 gold. You know... Oh, yeah.
And it's only going to get worse from here. Tier 2 now under siege from the top side. Chains of Corruption comes through. Will Mordekaiser even get to play?
No.
Answer's no.
No. No. Our curse continues here on the Vanquisher stream.
Hey, we had like a glimmer of hope in game 1.
It was great. It was great. So,
but we do need our regularly scheduled stomp. This is true.
Of course. And it's Vengeance running away with it. There's just not the lanes that you're expecting to win, that you're expecting to be properly ahead, can't get anything done, and this is exactly why Aftermoon going on a killing spree, picking it up along with a good find there from Carry on the Leona to just find these picks. There's nothing Wrath can do. They get forward and someone's on top of them.
Yeah, Philly be able to back. They don't want to overextend and maybe potentially throw it all away. They find the inhib on the top lane, and this is a very similar situation to what happened in the ending sequence of the last game. They find one inhib, and that really, leads to them finding some nice map movements just to be able to close out the fight with a map advantage, and somebody has to answer that wave eventually. So, especially with Realm Warp back up, I imagine the first person they see past the river is getting Realm Warped on, or worse, just gets picked.
Yeah, just gets picked with that. Oh my god.
Well, they could Realm Warp on Philly B if they wanted to, but they decide to call it off. They don't want to risk any potential option here. Now just pushing in the mid lane, and there's no wave clear on this team comp. That is one of the downsides. They were really looking for the team fight indexing with the R1, R2, Trundle Jin. Don't forget, that's how the draft started for this one.
After seeing Varus specifically. So,
yes.
I like the adaptation. Honestly, kudos to Vengeance from seeing that and saying, oh, they're going anti-tank? Well, perfect. We don't need one. We're just going to get this effective tank with the Ivern going, and they're going to try and cause us team fight. The Index looking for the trade, but that's the World Ender in the backline. Happy to keep this going, keeping up the fight and staying alive. No one's quite falling yet, but it's getting closer and closer. Maybe there it goes. Yeah, Aatrox. There it goes. Cleaning up in the back. Realm Warp in, trying to cut off the escape plans. Iceborn Vengeance are done with this, and so is Corrin. Shutdown picked up, finally. Something for Wrath, but that's a double kill from the Ryze, and happy to keep EQing along, and the turning tail and running into the base. The curtain call popped, and the HP bars are too low. It's going to be a slaughter here for Vengeance. If something lands, but nothing's able to get found. The knockup misses. They keep it up, and finally walking forward, taking this fight. It's Jin picking up one. Deadly Flourish gonna land, looking for two. Able to not do it because they don't have damage. Too far behind, and Husky finds that return kill.
It feels like that should have been their consolation prize, at least killing all of them. But they couldn't even find that. Philly B able to survive. But, oh man, it's rough. Husky now has to get out. The Chains of Corruption go wide. Jabber has a good opportunity. Pillar is in range in just a second. Has flash, though, for Husky. Will be forced to use it. So, a little bit of a chance for Wrath here, but 12k gold down, triple inhib. With the Nexus turrets respawning, there's always a chance with triple inhib compared to before. But it's definitely still terrible.
I'm glad we don't sugarcoat it here.
Yeah, I mean, what? Like, Yone finds the 5-man into what? Mordecue that's
Yes,
spread
the
between. Yeah.
whole Conqueror stacks Mordekaiser Q, and then they don't attack for another couple seconds as well to give time for, like, I don't know, a full Karma empowered Mantra
Oh,
Q.
true. I forgot about the mantra Q. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would do it.
that would do it. That would be the icing on the cake, and then, Jin finds some, like, 3 minion charge up on the grenade bounce, so that way at least one person takes a lot of damage, but as you can tell, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel,
Hey, they
metaphorical and
forced World
physical.
Ender. That's big.
That's big. Okay, work is done.
All
This
right,
is
they're pushing out these waves. Baron no longer on the table, obviously. And
Tuesday. It's calling, and that's I guess the Death Realm popped early, but they're
on
just
the
gonna be able to
Leona.
kite away. And it's on to Leona too, and so much burst. Corrin going legendary, finding the Trundle, popped out of the Death Realm and back into their own gray screen. It's a shutdown picked up as a consolation prize, but could you call a consolation prize for losing your Aatrox to the Nexus? I'm happy to do that. Shutdown picked up there from a little bit of an overextension, but you earned it here, Iceborn Vengeance. They're gonna go 2-0.
Yeah, and they're going to keep their perfect game score alive so far, sitting at a nice and pretty 8-0 in this league. Yes, they haven't even played one of their matches, but that doesn't even matter when you are stomping the rest of your group as hard as they are.
When you're doing this, so not a lot to look at, to be honest. It's just cut and dry, a cut and dry stomp.
Shout out to our what is that? B4 Ivern, I guess. Checkmate. That's it. Checkmate.
Someone's happy.
Yeah, I don't think as soon as that Ivern got locked in, I was like, uh-oh, this might be a little ugly. And then it was ugly.
It was very ugly.
A little more than I would have liked, at least.
That's the power. That's the power of these champions that you don't experience often, and you just don't know what to do. You see this Ivern and, like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to invade it? Oh, it's got a Dark Seal in its inventory. How does it already have an item? Why is it doing so much damage? Normally, these questions are answered if you play against it a bunch, like a Xin, like a Panth, like a Wukong. You kind of know what to do, but you see Ivern and I don't know. I played the champion, and I don't know. I don't know how to manage it. So
yeah,
it's just hard. It's too
I will
hard.
say for at least Wrath, like game 1, honestly, they found a good opportunity. It reminded me a lot of, like, I mean, if you've watched anything LCS, like current day Team Liquid, where like they'll just always lose lane, but then they find like a good fight and like suddenly the game's flipped, or like last season 100 Thieves, where people, they would toss the game completely, and guess what? They find that angle and find a way back into it. So that was what that game 1 kind of felt like. They really were out of it, but they found a nice opportunity that they took advantage of. But unfortunately, didn't have the closing power for that one. So there are some good stuff. I feel like game 2 draft was just a little bit too rough. They had to find some miracle somewhere on the map, and it just never came. So then they just kind of got grinded away for the next 20 minutes, and unfortunately, they will be losing that one. Fortunate enough for them, it is the team that's beating everyone else. So this is the acceptable loss if you are Wrath, and this doesn't really put them in that much danger as far as their group is concerned. I believe they should be still nearly guaranteed to get playoffs as long as they don't lose the next 2 weeks as well. So honestly, coming out of this one, I don't think you're feeling too bad about it. You lost to the team that's undefeated. Makes sense. We go next week kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a we go next angle for sure. Great win from Iceborn Vengeance. Congratulations to them. 2-0, staying on top of the table. Still got one more to play to catch up. But with that being the case, a very quick relatively quick 2-0, to be honest here. With that being the case, we've got to log out here for the night. Thank you, everyone, for spending your night here with us on Vanquisher. I've been Halfling, joined by Golden Gad, produced and observed by Shivam. We thank you all for spending your night. We'll see you next time.
like do crazy, oh crazy, oh crazy, crazy, oh crazy.